All right, let's get into this. You know, if you've ever been in real estate or heck, any kind of sales job, you know this exact feeling. You pour hours and hours into a lead that seems so promising, only for it to just fizzle out. But what if there was a way to sift through the crowd and find the serious buyers right from the get-go? Well, that's the big idea we're going to unpack today. I mean, that's the million-dollar question, right? Think about all those hours on the phone, all the back and forth emails, and actually driving out to show properties to people who are, let's be honest, just kind of browsing. This isn't just a small annoyance. It's a huge drain on productivity that hits an agent's income directly. And this quote right here, it's from a guy named Eric Johnson, an agent who's been in the game for 25 years. I mean, a quarter century of experience really tells you just how deep this frustration runs. That feeling of chasing a dead-end lead, yeah, pretty much every agent knows that one all too well. In fact, the industry even has a name for it, the looky-loo. And look, these aren't bad people or anything. They're just curious, you know? They're exploring, maybe daydreaming about a house they might buy one day. The problem is, an agent's time is their most precious resource, and looky-loos can drain that resource completely dry. So after dealing with this for years and years, Eric Johnson just thought, there has to be a better way. You know, instead of just relying on a gut feeling or playing endless phone tag, what if there was a tool that could bring some real clarity to the situation right from the very beginning? And that's exactly what he did. He built the solution. This is his answer to that age-old problem, the buyerprofile.com. It's basically a pre-showing tool designed to tackle that looky-loo problem head-on. And what this really gets at is a fundamental shift in how things are done. Johnson's whole point is that the old way, just jumping in the car at the first sign of interest, is super inefficient for everybody. The goal here is to get a solid plan in place before anyone even thinks about grabbing their car keys. So how does it actually do that? How does it build that plan? Well, this is where it gets really interesting because it brings in modern tech. The whole system uses AI to take all that raw information and turn it into something the agent can actually use. So let's break down how it works. The process is actually super simple. The agent just sends a link. The potential buyer fills out this quick form that covers all the basics, what they're looking for, what their budget is, and where they stand with financing. Then, the AI crunches those numbers, and this is the magic right here. It spits out a readiness score that lets the agent see instantly who they should be talking to first. Yeah, that score, that's the real engine behind this whole thing. It looks at everything all at once, their timeline, their budget, if they've talked to a lender, and it gives this clear, immediate signal of how ready that buyer actually is. It's designed to measure real seriousness, not just a passing curiosity. And this is what makes it so different from, say, a typical lender pre-qualification site. See, a lender site tells you if someone can afford to buy a house. This tool tries to tell you if someone is ready to buy a house. It's looking at the whole picture, their intent, their timing, their finances, not just a single number on a spreadsheet. Okay, so who is this actually for? I mean, sure, any agent could probably use it, but it was really built with a certain group in mind. Those high-performing pros who are always looking for that next efficiency, that next edge. In fact, Johnson is really clear about this. He says it's aimed at the top 25% of agents. And that makes sense, right? These are the folks who get that having good systems is the secret to growing their business. They're not looking to work harder, they're looking to work smarter. And, you know, for those top agents, the absolute last thing they need is another complicated piece of software to learn. And that's why this isn't meant to be a replacement for anything. It's a tool that just complements what they already do. It slots right into their current workflow and feeds those qualified, ready-to-go leads straight into the CRM they're already using every single day. And as far as getting access, it's a pretty straightforward subscription model with a few different levels. You've got a starter plan that a solo agent can easily jump on, and then it scales all the way up to packages built for entire teams. So it's pretty flexible depending on the size of your operation. So let's zoom out. What does all of this really mean for the future? Well, we could be looking at a major shift in how agents and clients connect, right from that very first hello. It's all about building a relationship on a foundation of seriousness and efficiency from day one. And you know, in the end, that's what Johnson really believes. This isn't just about saving an agent's time and sanity. By making the whole process more focused and direct, it helps the buyer too. The serious buyers get faster, better service, and the agents get to pour their energy where it's actually going to make a difference. It really does feel like it fills a gap for everyone. So let's do a quick recap. What are the big takeaways? First, it saves agents a ton of time by filtering all the leads. Second, it uses that AI to give a simple readiness score. Third, it brings a real system to those chaotic first conversations. And finally, it helps build a solid plan right from the very beginning so everyone's on the same page.
And all of this leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to chew on, doesn't it? As more tools like this pop up, are we going to see this kind of AI-driven data become the new standard, the new gatekeeper for who an agent even decides to work with? It's a pretty profound shift to think about for the future of the entire industry.